heroes of humility, 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 humility. This is not a charade. This is real. These words you are about to hear are coming from real humans on a mission to save the human race from itself. Buckle up while these delusional heroes of humility, aka hoes, attempt to right the wrongs in everyday human behavior. We're recording again. This is a live recording session, as they say in the biz, with Heroes of Humility. This is Pierce, aka One-Eyed Willie, aka I told the guys in the last episode that I practice a patch wearing regimen that
on his
improves my vision. Well, yeah, you don't. Sometimes you can patch both eyes, but then you can't see it all. And then we've got Beige over here in the corner, weighing it at 180, I'm guessing 189?
A svelte.
180?
Svelte.
A svelte Beige. And then we got Red. I don't even want to guess his weight, dude.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Then we got 11, who joined us again just recently in the studio.
Guess my
we're
weight.
glad to have him back. I'm going to say 195.
Oh my God.
No,
right?
dude.
Would he be
Can't
good at?
He's almost nearly as tall as me.
I would say
210.
225.
Negative.
What is
You
it?
know
What
what?
is it, Red?
You've gotten a little bigger since.
What is it, Red?
I'm gonna guess 245.
Damn, Red's on the money,
Wow,
dude.
you guys
I'm probably
are-
about 240.
See?
Wow.
You could work at a carnival, dude.
No, because he's just my same size. I know. Like,
Would you have gotten?
You know what? Every time I go to those carnival things where the guess your weight, they never get it right. It's
Yeah.
been that way since I was a teenager.
No,
since I was like
it's-
16,
Yeah,
17 years old.
we're
that
roughly the
blows my
same-
mind.
we're
I didn't
roughly
think
the
you
same-
weighed that much.
Yeah.
we're roughly the same size, and people will
And
tell
how much
me,
do you weigh?
Oh, excuse me.
I wanna know.
People will go, don't you have a 38-inch waist? I go, when I was 6, maybe.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
you
people
guys
don't-
want to know something crazy?
Tell me.
You're
Tell me, babe.
32.
My waist is 31, and it hasn't changed since high school.
God.
I'm a
dude.
32 now, dude. I'm a 32.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was 30. Well, when I was in middle school, I was 34.
No, same.
High school is 36. Now I'm 38.
38 looks good on you, dude. I think
And
that
it's
looks
a little
Yeah.
loose, but
yeah, that's good, dude.
I got some love.
That
So,
must be
you know,
nice.
I still want to know now, Red. Is it going to insult you if you tell us your weight?
No,
It doesn't
no.
matter, dude.
No,
Come on.
because
We're
most
a bunch
people,
of bros.
I will say
dude.
most people will say that I don't look as heavy as I do, but it's funny when you talk to some
You're
people and they're like,
big. You're just a tall.
Yeah, this
big-
guy
I don't
was
think
a-
anybody looks fat. There's none of us that
Yeah.
look fat.
He,
What I'm
he
saying-
looks
what
big
I'm-
bone, though. There is such a thing as big bone, and Red is big bone.
excuse me, thank
Well,
you.
yeah,
you need to talk to my wife a little bit
unfortunately-
more.
He's got some woolly mammoth bones in there.
No, I'm
Mrs.
like,
Red, is he a big bone guy?
I'm like 290. I'm 290.
290. Wow.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have guessed that
big
you
show.
guys weigh that much.
My son's about your size, maybe a little bit taller, and he's like 310.
that's what, and that's my thing is,
I wouldn't
He
have
just
guessed
turned
that.
17 like yesterday.
and that's people don't understand is usually
height,
when you're
yeah.
over 6 foot, 6 foot, even 6'2", and you're like not abnormally skinny, you're over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Like
That's
without
true,
even
just
trying.
your height.
If I trimmed down and had minimal muscle,
Uh-huh.
I'd still be 210 maybe.
Right.
Like I'm just a heavy dude.
What do you guys think I weigh?
Oh, you're like a $120.
You're a featherweight.
Wow, you have
You're a
zero.
bantamweight.
With the eye patch or without?
I just had my physical.
Let's see
I
the
weighed in
arch
at
in your back.
175.
Which during the intermission here, Red and I did locate the eye patch
Yeah.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, I put it on for you guys so you can see how it works.
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't tell you. He had it on his crotch before
Yeah.
you came in.
I
the
thought it
room.
was
He had it on his one-eyed Willie.
I thought it was a cup. I thought it was a cup.
Oh, his eyes already itching.
I'm so disappointed when I share an intellectual benefit and you guys take it to a caveman place to
Oh,
try to help. But no, I weigh 175. And look, this show is not going to be about our aesthetics. This one is about
What's your shoe
automation. This show is this.
Are we doing shoe size?
We picked a topic.
What do you got, Red?
I'm an 11.
There you go.
Well, I guess we are going to talk about shoe sizes. I have a feeling we're losing a lot of listeners, guys. I mean, if
Yeah,
you want to
it's
keep talking
going-
about
it's
shoe
going down.
sizes, yeah. But yeah, so this one is going to be, we took a vote and we decided we're going to talk about how the world is imploding on itself because of automation and the loss of humanity in some of our day-to-day exchanges with businesses, vendors, whatever. You buy something, you got to talk. You have to have an app. I can see the person in front of me. She could take my order, but no, because the computer can do it. And I've been in those places now, especially in the big cities. When you order, you could talk to the human being right in front of you, but they want you to go to the screen right next to them and put in your order, and then somebody else will bring it back, and gosh forbid that they've got to make any human interaction or contact with you or say stuff. Let
me ask you this, because this is where I always like battle. Is it us getting old because that's what we're used to, or is it really a problem? Because I'll be with there's certain cities you go to, like even down to Manhattan. Mm-hmm. You go into a restaurant, there's nobody to have a customer interaction with, maybe besides the person that drops your bag of food at the counter and walks off. But you have to either enter in a computer your order or your phone app and then scan it when you get to the store. But there's no human interaction.
I'm good with the one where you do it on your own phone, but the one where you have to do it like on a screen, I'm not slow like most people. And when people are slow, it drives me nuts. You road rage.
Oh, yeah.
I have that in like a restaurant if someone has to type in their stuff because they have no clue what they're doing. They're just like
and you're gonna
a baby
have that
pressing buttons.
How do you feel when you're at the register?
Get out of my way.
And somebody writes a personal check.
I haven't seen that since the 90s, bro.
That's the equivalent.
Dude, I will say...
Do you take a check?
I will say within like the last 6 months, I did get behind somebody in line, and it was the older lady with the bag of coins.
Oh my!
And I was just like, "You've got to be kidding me! You've got to." Oh.
There's 11 with his like little sandwich. I just got one.
I know.
I just need. Can I go? Can I go around?
I was in a line the other day, and I was thinking about all of us standing in line and the time that just kept ticking away. I mean, time is the most valuable commodity there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can't really trade it, but you don't think you do, but you do. Every day you decide how are you going to spend your time with a business. And there are benefits to having these automation systems set up. But I got to say, when I can just talk to somebody and tell them, I want this, it's just so
I'm
so
with you,
easy,
though.
dude.
I'm with you. I'd rather talk to somebody because to me it's easier to tell, hey, I want this. And because I'll be real. I know Pierce is kind of like me in this instance. We have a specific way we like our food sometimes. And you can't put that on a computer. Yeah. Like, come on. Right. I'm not just picking a number 2.
Frappuccino, 2 pumps caramel.
If they're just gonna put
you
whatever.
Didn't even look the part when you said that. That was hilarious.
Too bad we don't have videos.
I know. I had that video right now.
Oh, I was gonna hit record on my phone.
You got to have like the RBF face when you do it.
He's all hey, man.
Okay, babe, do you want to do it again?
No.
Now he's all red.
Now,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well,
no, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Oh, too funny.
All right.
Don't let this distract you.
But going on to that, like I think the most salient example of this to me is the grocery store. I mean, every single grocery store you go in, the vast majority of checkouts now are self-checkouts.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a few cashiers, and it's funny because you'll go to the grocery store and there'll be long lines for the self-checkout and nobody at the cashier sometimes. Like people are choosing not to have that personal interaction. And I will say, I think the more that we do this because it's everywhere. I mean, I just went to a restaurant the other day, a sit-down restaurant, and you have a waitress and everything. But then when you go to pay the check, they have like a little tablet there.
Oh, yeah.
And you just pay on the tablet. You don't pay the waitress, which is kind of nice because the whole tipping thing. So you can tip and you don't have like the waitress seeing what you tip. It kind of alleviates that little bit. But there's everything that you do now where there's an option to not have social interaction, right?
Do you like that?
Less.
Do you kind of prefer that sometimes, though, Beige?
I mean, yeah, I do sometimes because sometimes I just don't want to.
Sorry, dude. He's afraid I was going to actually get him documented. It's already documented on audio. Now it's going to be on video.
You were filming up his skirt. That's the issue.
No, but I mean, sometimes you just don't want to talk to people, right? I mean, I don't think I'm alone in that, where you just go someplace and you're like, I just don't. Dude, lately I'll go grocery shopping after the gym and I'll keep my earbuds in. And I'll grocery shop with my earbuds in,
So you don't have to interact.
Yeah, but I mean,
man, there's sometimes like I will want that interaction, but most of the time I just want to streamline the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get it done.
But I think
I don't want to stand behind someone that is just taking forever because they're Sunday driving in the damn grocery store, you know? Like, I'll go to the self-checkout thing because I know I'm boop, 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 I'm done.
you're
you know?
proficient at self-checkout.
Yeah. I don't need someone that's spending a minute trying to find a barcode on one thing and they have 30 more things to do.
But I would say that there is times where you go to the self-checkout and do that. And I think we're in a unique position because we have a frame of reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up in the late 21st century in the 80s and the 90s, this stuff didn't exist. So this is a totally different experience. So we have what it used to be like and what it's like now. And there's pros and cons to all of that stuff. So, because there's times you may be in a bad mood or maybe you don't want to talk to people, but you end up talking to the cashier and you have a really pleasant experience there. You have a nice interaction with the person and it kind of brightens your mood a little bit and you didn't really expect that. Now, I think that a lot of people are losing the ability to hold a conversation with somebody because they don't have to anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And like we were saying earlier, social media kind of has done that as well.
Yeah.
Taken away from a lot of the social interaction.
well, because I don't know if you know people like this, but there's some people out there that like, they're great texters. They're money on text, but you try to get them in a face-to-face conversation. It's dude, you don't know how to interact with people. But if you get a text, they're funny, they're witty, funny memes or GIFs or whatever. But then you try to have a conversation with them and it's, dude, like you can't hold a conversation.
No, I have nephews of mine and you place a phone call, an old school phone call to them. They don't pick up the phone, but you can text all day long. They would rather text than actually have a conversation.
They have trouble reading nonverbal cues and then adapting. If you can't see the listener and how they're reacting to what you're saying, that's going to mess up the delivery.
Well, I think there's a lot of people now, you could be in the same room, like Levin and me, and we're not going to talk. We're just going to text each other back and forth. And that'll be the extent of our interaction.
Yeah.
And I think something's lost.
And maybe that's the only,
we don't
maybe
do
that's
that.
all that you and 11 should be doing. I don't think you should be doing anymore. I mean, it's not me to say. I'm just saying.
Conversations are pretty good.
No, but
I mean, maybe this show should just go to text only.
I think that'd make for an interesting
We should,
podcast.
no, but
we should have a show where we just text it out to everybody.
Yeah, and then our endorphins will come from liking each other.
No, but I'm with 11 at the grocery store with the Expedition, but I think it's changed because before self-checkout used to be kind of like the unsaid, like maybe you got 5 items in, out, you're done.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Full
okay,
carts.
I have produce and I have a zucchini. A, B.
Oh, they got pictures. They got pictures.
But it's
That
like,
helped it move.
Oh, you want to know a secret, dude? This is a good one. So I just take like the sticker off the bananas or the whatever it is I'm buying, and I just put that on the thing. So I don't have to turn it. Or if you hold the bag, it's probably a secret, but if you pull the bag taut against the sticker, you can see the label.
oh, I got you. But you know what? I will avoid sometimes self-checkout just because of the plastic bags, bro. If you have a shopping cart full of groceries for you and your family, doing the bagging sometimes takes more than actually scanning each item. So I'll do the old school thing.
Every once in a while.
right?
It just depends on the day.
Sprouts doesn't have
But then I
bags
look at
anymore.
that line and there's like one cashier and there's 3 people loaded up with carts behind them. I'm like, oh, hell no.
The
dude.
instance I get with the self-checkout, where I run into trouble is those damn bags. Sometimes they're all
No,
stuck
that's what I'm
together.
talking about. That's
where they're
the
stuck
plastic
together,
bags.
and
You
you're
can't
like,
undo 'em.
And you try to get one, and you get a whole stack, and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got the whole stack. I don't."
And the
know
last
what
thing you want to do is
now."
lick your hands, one of your fingers, to like.
Dude, if I ever see somebody licking their hands in public, then I just I'm in the wrong place. Well, and the stores that I've been to, like Sprouts, they don't provide you with bags. And if you do need a bag, you just pay extra for it. But you go in with the bags. Now you have to have your own bags.
Yeah, I remember that first time going to California, and
They charge you for bags.
paper straws.
Yeah.
no, I mean regular store, and you're we don't do plastic bags. I'm like, I've got canned goods here. What do you mean you don't do bags? Oh, we use reusable bags. You know, I'm no greenie type of thing, but you know, I wasn't prepared for that.
You weren't
like,
ready.
So now I have a shopping cart full of like canned goods, and I'm going to my car, and now I got
And you're just carrying, dropping cans
you
in the
everywhere.
parking lot.
Well,
What
one of the
hell?
things you could do is you take off your blouse.
Oh,
and you,
my blouse?
Yeah, you go ahead
And my eye
and
patch?
you put all of your
Leave your skirt on.
yeah, You put all your clothes in your shirt, and then you tie it in a little satchel. and then you
that
just
would
throw
have
it
went
over your head.
really well.
Yeah, you just walk around
Going
the
hobo.
store naked.
Now you don't have a shirt on, and that could
I'll have
be
to
a
try
thing.
that next
but
time.
do we want plastic bags in landfills, or do we want to see red topless?
Yeah, that's
It's
a
only
very
one or the
that's
other.
a heavy
Yeah.
price
Yeah,
to
you
pay.
can't have both.
There's good and bad to both.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I will say I had an experience at self-checkout a few weeks back where maybe this isn't a good thing, but I usually go into stores and I usually have a drink with me. Like either
Like what
an
kind of
energy
drink?
drink, usually an
Monster.
energy
No
drink.
way.
try to charge
No
you.
way.
No, I don't believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Are you really asking that question? But I'll go into the store and I'll, because especially here, it gets hot. I'm not going to go into the store for an hour and leave my drink. By the time I get back to my car, it's crap.
I do the same thing.
So I bring it in. So I go shopping, I'm with my daughter and everything. We do our grocery shopping, go to self-checkout, and it keeps wanting me to scan an item. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I already scanned everything. What's going on? The camera had seen the can in my hand and thought I was stealing the can.
You steal a red alert, red alert.
And I had to tell the cashier, I said, I came in with this. Like, I came in with this can, and she had to, like, override it and everything. But the camera
The robots
caught it,
have
and they're like,
detected.
nope, there's an item there that wasn't scanned.
There's a
You're
price
so
tag
you're so
on it.
committed to that monster though that you're gonna go in.
Oh, yeah.
The other, I guess you could put it in a brown bag and then they may not hassle you.
No,
Yeah.
his boxer shorts had a
assume it's a
barcode,
40.
and
Yeah.
sir, you didn't pay for those.
Dude, you want to?
Pierce has gone hobo today with,
I'm just trying to help you guys out with your
with
lifestyle.
the hobo sack over the shoulder, the brown bag
The
special,
eye patch.
I guess
the
you could
eye
get.
patch. Oh my god!
I guess you could get.
What
more,
happened to you?
I guess you could get more.
that physical that he had really messed him up.
I know.
I guess you could get more sophisticated and bring a stick with you, and then you could tie your shirt to the stick.
yeah.
Stick.
Yeah.
You pay for that stick, sir.
No, when you go into the store, you've got to be prepared now. You're going to be automated, and you're not going to be able to use your constitutional rights to pick bags. Used to be paper or plastic. Now you just buy your 10-cent bag. But I don't forget the bags now. I always have them.
Well, and how many times do you go into the store? Like, this happens to me a lot. Like if I'm doing stuff around the house and I need like a very specific item from the hardware store. There's places I'll go to and I'm like, this person's going to have no freaking clue what I'm asking for, because it's a very specific thing. And so you don't even want to talk to people because you're like, I'm just going to confuse this person. They're going to have no idea.
Home Depot app. It'll tell you exactly what.
I know. I have done that, like I'll Bay and everything.
Yo,
I'm
bro,
like, all
but
right,
this
there
is
we
the
go.
problem I have with Home Depot. I want 4 freaking screws.
Oh yeah,
Guess what? Where's the barcode on the freaking screws when you get to self-checkout?
You got to write the code.
Oh,
and then,
hell
yeah,
no, bro.
I
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
I take a picture, dude.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't scan. You're like, oh, it's not working. No, it's not
Yeah.
working.
Right.
How does it go?
It's not working.
Yeah.
I need the
gesture.
Same difference, bro.
Dude,
It's
that's
not
the
working.
second.
And then you're in line, and there's a line like filling up behind
Oh,
you.
this guy.
And then the self checkout, price check,
Price check on
self
nuts,
checkout,
nuts
help to
and
check
bolts.
out, please.
He's
This
got
dude's trying to buy a couple nuts over here.
nuts
Yeah.
and bolts and a big stud.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to backtrack, because I think Red was Eleven was referencing a motion that Red was doing, but it's not a video podcast, so
If you've ever
couldn't
seen
see what you were doing.
if you've ever seen the shake weight
It was
commercials, it was very
shake
similar
weight.
to shake weight, how you would operate a shake weight.
So just we don't want to leave people out, is what I'm
Oh yes, you got to
Yeah.
get the visuals.
saying. It's just getting harder. I mean, in a way, those.
It
That's what
is.
she said.
I guess if you were tuning in to hear something intelligent, and this is not the
It's
Well,
the
show
wrong
for-
day.
Yeah, you picked the wrong podcast. You should know by now.
The way to get around it is you would think maybe to use these apps, but the apps are they're using all this information so that they know how to send you more and more commercials.
Scam
Scams.
City. More scams. Ooh, yeah. I remember-
All Pierce needs to say now is, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
I remember way back when you used to be able to get in the
Back
ring
in my
and just
day.
fight somebody without having to go through an app.
Yeah.
Elizabeth was already icing the champagne, and you were just going in to fight Hulk Hogan. And now you got to go through an app. You can't just walk into the ring, and then
Yeah, you went full macho man right there.
I lost my mind. I'm looking at everybody's faces. It's almost midnight.
Womp womp.
No, so you were talking about bagging and self-checkout versus human interaction.
Yeah.
And like I said, I guess that was my question was, do you think it's because we're getting older, or I don't know. We're
It's
getting
not
older.
that one.
It's not that one.
No,
Okay.
I'm
I feel better about it.
afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid that is too easy of an answer. I really think there's some merit to human interaction beyond just the expedited, streamlined process that we all want. There are other factors involved, and you're going to learn what those factors are when something doesn't go right. It's not a big deal when you're ordering a taco, but it is a big deal when you're buying something that's more sophisticated.
But I will say, like, if I'm making a big purchase, I don't know if you guys are the same way. I've done my research. I already know exactly what I want. I don't need somebody talking to me and upselling me or something. Like, I've already been probably to like 5 different websites, read all the reviews, read the specifications. I know what I'm buying and I know what I want. And I just want to go to the store and get it. Like, I really don't have any questions at that point because I've done so much research on a big purchase.
Yeah, like a
car,
clothes dryer. Oh,
Have you?
like a car.
And usually when I
you know,
show up and I go to and I've done all of that, I'll tell them that, and then they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, you know exactly what you want."
Right.
I usually get that response.
But in
as
that
far as-
circumstance, you don't really need an interaction per se.
yeah.
You just need somebody to check you out, and you could probably check yourself.
before you wreck yourself.
That sounds weird,
Well,
but
wait
a
second. No, but I'm thinking of right
do
now what you
every
just
day.
mentioned. Not everybody, but a lot of people hate buying a car because of the sales, the human interaction that you have. I haven't done it yet, but I've had a couple friends do the whole
Carvana.
digital app car purchase without nobody showing up. They drop the car off and they love it. But
Oh,
I
dude, they
haven't
have
done
like
that
those car vending machines, that company Carvana or whatever, right? You don't even. And I think they legitimately give you like a coin or something, and you put it in there, and they'll
yeah.
give you a
Those are
car.
cool.
But I haven't
From that,
I
you know?
haven't done that yet. But I just because I think of people like friends of mine that absolutely can't stand buying a car, like they hate it. I'm a car person, so to me it's like woohoo! I get a chance to go find a new set of wheels, and I like it. But there have probably been times all 4 of us have probably gone knowing the vehicle we want, but then we talk to a salesman and it's completely ruined because their lack of knowledge or the company policy, blah, 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 all these add-ons, and you don't like it. If it's gone digital, that might be one interaction I probably might look forward to.
But take somebody who doesn't know cars, right? You have a knowledge of cars, so you come into that with that knowledge. But say somebody who doesn't really have a knowledge. Okay, this is a 4-cylinder, 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. Like, what does that mean? I'm clueless with this, right?
Well, you don't have to know anymore because they're just making cars into computers and on wheels.
But I mean, if you get into somebody who doesn't have the knowledge, I'm the way that I'm, and it's probably not good, but I'm distrustful of if I go in there, is this person helping me?
Yeah.
Or is this person upselling me? And
They're
they
just-
are they
they're
actually
just
trying to
trying to
get
sell
me
you.
the best car for me and be helpful? Or is it they kind of know that they're overselling me here, but they're just feeding me a bunch of crap?
I know
you
we're
know?
gonna
Oh
have
yeah,
a-
you're gonna get the you need the extended muffler warranty.
Exactly.
Or, you most people hate that, or like you said, they know what they want to buy. At least, like not even car people, but like, hey, I need a 4-door sedan. These are the 3 I'm looking at. This one comes with a good price. It's a color I like. Let me purchase it.
But that's why when we go into this age of less interaction and more automation, it is incumbent upon you now as a customer to have that knowledge to go in there to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. If you're buying an electronic device, the other day, you buy a projector. I bought a projector, that you can play movies and stuff like that. Well, there's all these different kind of projectors. How many lumens? How many this? How many that? You have to go and, educate yourself because, like you said, the guy at the electronics store,
He don't know
he
that
probably
much.
doesn't know,
Well, you got to think way back in the day, there wasn't the internet.
Correct,
Or even
yeah.
in the early years, people couldn't really educate themselves on anything unless they bought a book somewhere. you
Right.
know?
But now they
So,
can.
Like, you needed those salesmen. You had to put your trust in whoever worked there and gave you that info. But now you don't need to. Now you can be more streamlined. And
Yeah, but I guess
you don't need someone selling you or
and
trying
especially if you're going off
when
some
you already know. Like,
Right.
Irresponsible to yourself for not researching, especially on like a big
especially
buy.
something that's impartial, because the minute you go into a store, there's partiality there. So
Yeah.
if you're reading a review website or YouTube or something, you can say, okay, this is an impartial review here.
Now, where is it that you can draw the line and say, okay, this item, I'd like to just have somebody tell me which one's the best one because I don't want to spend too much time on.
That's the
Well,
hard
yeah.
thing.
I mean, that's a personal choice, I guess,
it
and that
is.
comes
It
down
is.
to
That should
money.
just be the option.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
No,
yo,
but-
I already know what I want. This is what I want. Okay,
Like if I'm
there
going to
you go.
spend $10, I'm not going to go crazy
Yeah.
like that.
If
But
you-
if I'm going to
if
spend
you
like
go in there-
$1,000 or something, yeah, I'm going to take my
Dude,
time.
like, think about it. Like, one of the biggest purchases besides a car and a house, like, when you buy an appliance for your house now, dude, back in the day, you could buy a fridge for like $500. Now they're like a couple grand. But then you got to
more than that. Dude.
They don't last as long either.
Do I
Did you
need
notice that?
do I need the flat screen on the front of it to help me tell what kind of food is in
No.
the fridge? No, you freaking open it up. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, does it have marbled ice versus crushed versus whiskey ice? Oh,
Crushed ice is badass.
You know, all
See,
that,
you'd make a good salesman. Well,
like you don't need it, but who doesn't
But it's
like
badass.
crushed ice? Badass, bro.
but I would say, in addition to that, not just that, but for me, it's the whole thing. So you brought up the price of refrigerators now compared to what they were. You better learn how to fix those.
oh God!
You better
dude.
learn how, if the compressor goes
least-
out,
at
or
least
if
change the filter.
if something, or how to replace the ice box if you need to.
Oh, yeah,
you
dude.
should know how to do that, because now it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Can you trust the person coming over? To be
Guaranteed.
honest with you, and there's YouTube now.
Guaranteed
There's
there's a
DIY.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a specific. So
let me get this straight. So we're spending more time researching a product. We're spending more on it. And now when it breaks, we also have to fix it.
and we paid more for it.
oh, you don't you don't have to, but
Scam City.
I mean, it would
you
be
don't
better
have
if we
to,
did.
but you can put your trust fully in somebody else, because you don't know enough to have the knowledge to know if you're getting screwed or not.
I think you're right. I think ideally those are the three things that you're hoping to be able to do on yourself. Doesn't sound better to me, dude.
But don't you hate that when you do have being a homeowner, there's a new big purchase, whatever it is,
Yeah.
a freaking water heater. Now you got to become a freaking water heater specialist.
Yeah,
Just you get a
Tell us about the guarantee.
Dude,
which one are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
About the butcher's ass.
Oh yeah, you can take a good look at a
Whoa.
bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. You know, I butchered it. Yeah, I butchered it.
Put your head up a butcher's ass.
You know, the thing is that I was lucky enough to get this LG fridge and it hasn't broken on me, but I tried to research the one that breaks the least.
so you invested a little bit of
A
your
lot of time.
time
I spent a lot
It's
of time.
to
annoying as
to
hell.
help you make a smart decision.
And it's
so,
lasted a long time, but every once in a while when I'm sitting there watching Miami Vice and I hear there's a sound that doesn't go with the show, I'm like, oh man, did my fridge
there
buy-
goes
is
the
this
fridge.
one? Yeah,
Yep.
there goes the fridge. And I'm thinking, and the appliance, when you buy a new home, the warranties on the appliances, they're like $500 and up. So, okay, am I going to buy a warranty that costs pretty much half of what the appliance itself costs? No. And it's just, oh boy, this isn't the scam section of the show, but we're just, there's just so many, man. It's just hard to keep.
But I will say, for me, there's also value when I fix something. It's like caveman,
Yeah.
like I fix that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a sense of accomplishment right there. Like I'm a man, damn it. You know,
Yeah.
Save
There's
us a
also
grand.
there's also an awesome sense of accomplishment when Beige comes to your house and fixes stuff, and it still feels really good. Like I'll say that too, and I want
Yeah.
to give it up for Beige right now because
No, he's told the story where he's like taking apart his whole washer or dryer completely apart.
I know, man.
Oh, I've taken those apart,
It's
dude.
impressive, dude.
I just installed a mini split in my house, like
Yeah.
the whole deal, man.
Yeah.
So
And what for many other people right now are listening, and they have no idea what a mini split is.
it's
dude.
just a air conditioner for my garage. It's
Yeah.
just a
But you don't even
self-contained
use,
like air
like,
conditioning unit.
That's like lingo for cavemen.
Yeah.
This guy speaks in mini split lingo because that's the kind of guy you're dealing with. Yeah, he will decimate a wall. He'll put things. He came over here when my walls got wet and
we don't want to know how that happened.
I teed you
Beige
guys
is
up
good
for
at
that.
wet
Keep that on the
walls.
down low. We don't need to put that out there.
Oh,
And
boy.
brought all these tools over,
Yeah,
and
just a miter saw.
we were able to fix
Bring
everything.
those tools
Yeah.
to the wet wall party.
No, but that is nice. Like me personally, I do that because I find value in that, and not just I'm saving a buck, which I am, but also I can help somebody, or I can do something where it's like I fixed that, I did that. Like there's a sense of accomplishment
And
there.
every time you come over, you're
I do
like,
it too.
I own that wall.
Yeah, that's my wall. Those are my baseboards right there. Those baseboards, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm like the unofficial handyman in the area where I live. All the
I could
neighbors,
see that.
all the
Yeah.
neighbors come over.
Right.
I just got this new TV. Can you help me hang it? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's cool because then when they have
Pierce-
cookouts and stuff, they bring me plates or those.
Pierce came
invite
over.
me
and-
over. Hey, I just smoked this huge thing. I'm like, yeah.
Pierce came over and helped me hang my TV in the man cave, and him and I have a different way of doing things.
You know
he's
what?
very meticulous. I'm like, you know what? We're on.
how I am.
Slap it
I'm
up
like,
there.
we're on the stud. Just put that shit up.
Put it
We're
up
on
there.
the stud. Just
You know
drill
what
the
was
holes.
cool though? It was what's really
I'll
cool.
adjust it later.
What was
Figure
awesome?
it out.
I really, it's weird to say this, but I enjoyed that, and I won't explain why it's weird, but
He came over to help my.
I had a good time too at 11's. But the thing is, when I went over, Beige was ready to put the TV up and ready to do it, and he would have finished it probably a good 30 minutes before we did it with my involvement, but it just would have been a little bit off, and it would have been a little bit too low on the roof, and we didn't realize it until later. But I just kind of took the Pierce
Approach.
uncomfortable amount of time to do it, and we got that.
We
thing,
got
and
it
dude,
right,
am I-
man.
It
Yeah.
looks good.
It
right?
looks good.
And now I don't want to say well,
And he did save me because there was times where I was like, I was going to put it somewhere, and if we would have hung it there, it would have been all jacked up. And Pierce saved it.
But it was fun. But the point of the story is that Pierce by himself, kind of an annoying elitist. With Beige, we make one like complete human being, and we did something good.
Yin
We
and,
can be
yin
proud
and
of it.
yang,
Yeah.
yin and yang.
You
yeah.
complete
11
me.
and Beige, you complete me. Red, you complete me in other ways.
Oh my!
Well,
Hence the wet
What'd you
walls
guys do
there,
that?
buddy. Thanks,
know what?
Beige,
Here's
for
the
covering
thing.
for me.
Red's a good listener.
Red
dude.
wetted the walls down, and I had to come and fix it.
See,
Thanks, bro.
You know what?
circle of life.
If there's one
It's a
thing,
circle of friendship.
if there's one thing Beige can do, it's make a wet wall dry. Yeah. He can make it dry. He walks into a room and everybody just dries up.
Wow. Yeah, ladies.
So that's one thing Beige can do. Wow, what happened? Yeah, everything
Wow.
went sideways. I should put the fan back on. Yeah, just so you know, we had an issue with our beginning of the show. The fan was on, so we're not gonna worry about it. But I was disappointed nobody brought that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was the show about that we were talking about? Automation.
Automation, yeah.
The ways that automation has kind of maybe devolved us and in some way made us better. I think Beige thinks we're better. In some ways, I think we're worse. Maybe somewhere we're in between. Maybe kids or people have lost their ability to communicate and read nonverbal cues, the nuances of cognitive interactions. I don't know. But the other thing we're going to do in this show, so everybody can get a good night's rest because it's getting late, is we're going to play a round of What Would You Do? Now, occasionally when a What Would You Do scenario pops into my mind, I put it on my phone. So I'll go first because I have a feeling that I'm already teed up and ready.
Imagine that. Good job, dude.
Is that helpful?
I got one
You got
in the
one too?
chamber, but you can go first, Pierce.
Please.
Okay. This is unfortunately going to spring from, I don't know if you guys know this because I consider you guys intellects. It might be a little gracious, but
First time.
nevertheless.
Despite this last hour. of our
Yeah,
podcast.
never mind the last couple hours that you've heard the podcast, but these guys are normally pretty intelligent. And what I will say is that in my bag of stories, these are stories that come from my personal life, and they're embarrassing, okay? They're things that we can laugh at. I realize that in a way I'm a victim of this, but I think it's good for levity. I think it brings people a little bit of joy. This story is going to be one of those. And yes, my hair has gotten longer. The thing is, when COVID evolved, I thought, I'll just let it grow. It'll be easier. And it was easier, but it was also a little bit harder. And what I mean is that you've got to have, and see again, folks, I told you, this is just, we're devolving. But look, I went to a cerebral, I went to a guy that was cutting my hair, and he started to butcher me. Now, I think his heart was in the right place, but I said,
Was he wearing an eye patch?
You got my ear.
no, I wear the eye
bastard.
patches, Beige, not the hairdresser. Well,
That-
you don't
that would
want
be
an
a
eye.
red. That would be a red flag.
Yeah,
Give me
you
a
don't.
red flag.
Yeah, Beige has pointed out an important component of getting haircuts. Don't go to somebody that's wearing an eye patch. You wear the eye patch to improve your vision. Anyway, before I was interrupted. So when you go get your haircut, know like if the person has ever cut that kind of haircut, and cutting longer hair anyway, it's kind of a different story. So I just didn't know how to stop the
butchery
process.
Right.
Because think about it. I went to him. I said, hey, and you start to become
You've
pretty
committed at
Yeah,
that
you're
point,
committed, and you've gotten to know each other, and you feel bad just saying, I don't want you cutting my hair anymore. It's like a thing.
Where's the eject button on this freaking chair? I got to get out of here.
I went to some other people, and I found these ladies that really, they do a good job. They listen. They also, it's very therapeutic. When you're sitting in a chair, you're going to talk about something. And it's a good therapy session for me. And I got my hair cut properly. So my question to you is, now as I look around the room, I don't know that anybody has this problem. And I don't mean, I'm not trying to poke.
What the hell kind of shit is that?
I know people take shots, but I'm honestly not taking any shots here. But what I'm saying is, I know this isn't an issue you guys have. But
what are you trying to say?
if you were going to somebody and they weren't cutting, the couple of pairs that you have in the way that you wanted, what would you do?
Here comes the elitist thing. He feels bad.
I know.
He feels bad because his vision is all messed up, so now he has to put
Now
us
we
down.
have to take it out on
Here's
everybody
the
else.
thing. There's been a couple shots taken at me, and I'm just...
Here comes a justification.
You probably couldn't see how
bringing
deep
it
it
back.
was. Huh?
Bringing it- and I didn't miss them. I did not miss them, and so
You're
this
off,
is
dude.
payback.
You're
This is
missing-
payback. No, but let's just be real.
Let's get back to the rude question.
Yeah, let's be
Yeah.
friends
There
for
you
a minute.
go.
Okay.
Let's be friends again.
Okay.
So what would you do now? I've got to pick a name out of a hat because I didn't do that yet. So everybody listen very carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to pick the person who has to answer how they would handle this and how they would turn them down. And I'm also interested in how you would do it if it was a woman versus a guy. For some reason, that made it a little bit more awkward for me. I don't know how, but I've had to turn away from different people for different reasons, and it's hard. All right, so let me just pick. Oh, it's Pierce, so that's not going to work.
Well, you said that you socialize with yourself, so.
Yeah. Answer your own question.
Do you want me to hurt your feelings again? I got a whole bag of more feelings I can hurt
damn.
in my
All right.
pocket. Okay, this one is red. This one's for red. Oh, sorry, that's my ring.
Someone just
Wait, is that my
drove
phone?
a Harley Davidson in here.
Oh, that must be my work. Why is my work phone going off? I don't
Never
even know
mind,
where it
in the
is.
middle of the
you
show.
know what? Those guys need to respect that I'm off.
Did you tell him?
Screw it. All right. So, I'm a little worried that might be a duty thing. Hang on.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, we're gonna pause. We'll be right back. All right. I'm gonna keep this on the. Oh, geez. I'm gonna keep this on the
I like
podcast
it.
because my mom's calling during the podcast, and I'm gonna answer and see what's going on, and then we're gonna get back to my question. I'm sorry, guys. And by the way, my mom always FaceTimes me. She does not call me unless it's FaceTime. So I'm gonna FaceTime her right now. Oh, she's calling me back because I didn't answer within a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Hey, Mom, I'm recording. How you doing? Hello? Oh, I don't have... Now she's going to yell at me because I don't have my Wi-Fi on.
Where have you been?
Oh, hang on, Mom. I got to turn my Wi-Fi on so that I can get you better before you yell. Mom, I'm just going to give you a look at my buddies real quick. There's Beige. Say hi, Beige.
Hi, Beige.
Look at... There's
Hi,
Red.
Mom.
There's Red. And here's my buddy 11. And look at 11's new tattoos, Mom. Look at this guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
He's used to hearing that. Mom, so we're
Painted
recording...
man.
Yeah, I'm your number one, mijo. We're recording right now, so I'll call you back. But are you doing okay?
Okay, I just haven't heard from you all day, so I was worried.
I love you, Mom. I'll check back on you later. You doing all right?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. Do you want to say anything on the podcast because we're recording? It's going to be put
No
out.
pressure.
I think like 3 or 4 people listen, so you don't have to worry about. You want to say anything?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
My son does a very good job at what he does.
Perfect. Just like we rehearsed it. I love you, Mom.
Number
We'll talk
one
to you
fan. I
later.
like it.
I love you, Mijo. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. All right. She's
What
on
a
the
what a
podcast.
good boy.
Oh yeah.
That's my number one lady.
There you go.
I don't tell my beauty. But
You don't tell your wife.
Okay, look, sorry guys. So where was I? So basically, how do you break up with a hairdresser? All right, I read got. You
Okay.
got
So we're one of the guys with the non-flowing locks. So it's been
Follically
many of
challenged?
years. Yeah.
Dude, you guys. Yeah, don't. worry
That's a
about
rough one, bro. Because like you're in the middle of a haircut and it's like, I gotta go, or this is not working out. God, that's a tough one.
it. How often do you get your haircut?
I do it myself once a week. I can't stand. I'm old school. I can't stand
When it
hair
was
touching my
shorter,
ears.
I used to cut my own hair when it was shorter.
Especially when you pay $20 and there's like a little patch of hair on the ground. You're like, is this really
You got
worth
ripped
it?
off. Yeah.
Well, that and
Scam City.
nowadays, when you go to the barber
Scam
every
City.
week and you got to wait 2 hours, forget about it. That started taking too long. It was taking too much time out of my life. But damn, that one's a rough one. I guess for the most part, when I remember back in the day, you remember flat tops with the little metal comb?
Kid and play.
Dude, I used to get one, but every once in a while, You
wouldn't
got to
be, it
suffer.
wouldn't be so flat.
It was not very level, but you know what? I would just bear the bad haircut because it would grow out.
Wow.
What grade? What time of life?
I
was
think
this?
4th grade, dude.
That's an important time.
I remember
Yeah.
flat
One
top.
bad haircut.
You
can set
endured
back,
the
dude.
ridicule.
Yeah.
One bad haircut can hurt your street cred in 4th
I
grade.
could I could see you with a flat
When
top.
you had a
really.
lopsided flat top, it's kind of
Your hair looks, dude. I don't want to.
street cred.
You would rock with a flat top.
Yeah, you know your hair looks squared away though, dude. It's squared away. You take some time. You don't just go in there willy nilly. I can
Willy-nilly.
tell. Yeah, you got there's precision going on.
Yeah.
You're not like beige.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
The look of disdain on his face.
Whoa,
The look of disdain.
We really need to get our video working.
Wow.
No, look.
Ouch.
It's my turn. It's my turn to give back.
He
No,
just
I'm
called
You
me.
see how he just looked at you? Well, and then he
kidding,
just
man.
threw you away.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding,
And looked
but,
over at Brad,
I didn't
just-
want to say anything rude.
Yeah.
No, you got you.
Yet somehow you still were.
I'm sorry.
So what did you do? Did you go out mid haircut or did you?
Well, the guy, one of the guy, what did I say? I said, hey, this is what I did. He was gone for a while, and I really didn't want to get my next haircut from him. And also, there was this thing happening where I would go, and he would be working with somebody else, and I'd be waiting like 10 minutes or what. I was late one time. I had been a couple minutes late here or there, but I was late like 5 minutes one time, and he said, I'm sorry. And he got very much like that with me.
Snippy, huh?
Yeah, so that was it. Became
an
easier.
artist.
It became easier, and I told him, I said, hey, I got somebody else that's going to be able to help me out, and he didn't answer, so I left a message
So you broke up with your hairdresser?
via voicemail. Dude.
It's not you.
And you know what? I did feel bad. I did feel
It's not
bad.
me. It's you.
Yeah, I said it's not. It's just it's not working out, man.
I've had a great time. Best time of my life.
But actually, then I went and got my hair cut by this angel, and
was
it was
his name?
too far away. Her name, I don't know if I want to say because I think she might listen, but I want to say Crystal, and she was awesome, and I miss her, but it's far. It was far for me to drive.
Right.
So now I go somewhere else. I go to
So
Rachel.
you just threw Crystal down on the ground because it's a little extra time.
No, I don't want to even respond to that. But what I'm saying is that I go
Crystal
to
wasn't worth the effort.
She was
I go
not
to-
worth the
I
Not
effort.
go-
worth the drive,
Okay,
huh?
let's
Wasn't that great
everybody
anyways.
calm down. Everybody. Be cool, baby. Just be cool. I go to Rachel at Last Chance Salon. Whoa, whoa. And she does an amazing job. So and it's close.
I
So,
beg to differ. No, I'm just kidding.
watch your back, baby. Watch your back, dude. It's getting ugly. In there.
We've seen better.
It's getting ugly. Well, I'm wearing a headset.
I will tell you. Let me chime in here. I think we brought this up before, where you have the emergency phone call to get out of a date. You pretend like you're getting a call and be like, wait, it's on fire? What? What's going on right now? Sorry, I gotta go. There's an emergency at my house. I gotta take off. I
And
can't.
then you just
I get
never
it.
come back.
And then you just never, but that way you don't have to break up in person, you know?
Oh my
And then you
gosh.
just never come back and you go to somebody else and they fix your hair.
That's fascinating.
Or you could pretend like you have a bad case of like Montezuma's Revenge right in the middle of it, you know, and you
I'm
just
still
can't.
having a hard. No, I like it and it's funny, but I just wonder, well, how
The
does that set
emergency
you up
poo.
for saying goodbye forever?
Well,
after
do
that?
you have to say goodbye
Yeah.
forever to your hairdresser? I've never had that relationship with a barber, I guess.
That's the problem.
My wife,
Yeah.
my
It's hard
wife
for you to
cuts hair.
understand.
My wife cut hair.
Oh,
And
I wanna hear-
I'll tell you,
yeah,
like,
I
it's
wanna
funny
hear.
because if anything, a lot of the times we think as a customer that, you know, we're personally involved with the hair. But you got to think you're just another number.
Yeah.
But usually my wife would remember the ones that are the ginormous pain in the ass, and she would not want them.
Pierce.
So now, as I'm thinking about our stories,
dude, I'm keeping track. 11. That's one for beige and one for 11.
but I'm saying, like, if you started, that would actually be a better avenue of, like, okay, I don't want this guy back, or I'm not going to make this guy happy. Like, there's just, it's a little bit off kilter. If you become a ginormous pain in the ass in the middle of your haircut, they're just like, I can't get this person satisfied.
Yeah.
I think it's best that you're going to make them do the breakup,
Right.
and you're not doing the breaking up.
Yeah. That's not like, and that's a good point, but that's not a scenario. Now here comes the guy getting his haircut saying this, but I've just never had that kind of scenario break with somebody. So I can't imagine and it would be easier. My beauty goes to this place where I used to go and it's far. And we were down a car at the time. Now we got an extra, but so when she would go, that was part of the reason I stopped going there. And she would, I guess she asked Beauty, hey, where's, you know.
Pierce,
and
yeah.
I didn't like what Beauty told me. She said that she told Crystal, well, you know, he's pretty picky. So, and I was like, are you
there it
kidding
is.
me?
There
That's
it
not
is.
the reason. And that was not the,
Wow.
and Crystal, if you're listening, that was not the reason. The reason is because we had one ride and it was too far, but I do miss you. And I appreciate all the good haircuts you gave me. And,
I'm
you're the best in, you're one
well,
of the
after
best.
hearing that, I doubt Crystal listens. So I think you're okay.
That's number 2. That's number 2 for you, dude. That's number 2 for you. All right. Do you want to say what you would do, or does I don't know if
Oh no,
There's
I would
room.
stop them.
you just stop 'em?
You just say this
Yeah,
haircut
that's-
sucks. I'm out.
As soon as they started like cutting, I've had long hair before. And,
Yeah, you had long hair back in the day in your surfer days.
and then after the army, I always kept it short, you know.
Yeah.
But if like they're about to cut it, be like, yeah, stop it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But
I
you're-
told you just take like, you know, half an inch
Yeah,
off.
you were saying you were-
chopping too.
You were halfway in a haircut, right? And you're like, this isn't going well.
No, this was after I just got home and I looked at it. The thing is that he wasn't a bad haircut. It's just he was cutting it the way he wanted it, and he wanted it puffy and stuff. And I didn't.
See,
want it
I
puffy.
thought you were like halfway through the haircut, looking at yourself in the mirror. You're like, this
This is not
this
good.
is not going well.
You know what though? Like I remember going on for a work trip, going on. Like I said, I cut my hair every week. So even if I'm on somewhere else out of the state working, I'm like now thinking, damn, how am I going to do my hair? Do I bring clippers? Do I not? Because like
I
need,
always bring clippers. Yeah.
you know what I mean? But if I have a fade, so it's kind of hard to do the fade in the back. My wife will help me sometimes with just the very back, but I do the rest.
She's a hairdresser and she won't fade you.
No, because it's a pain in the ass. Plus, it's easier for me to do it myself.
I used to
tricky,
do mine
right?
myself too.
And then I'm like,
I got
hey-
really good at doing it. I'd use my cell phone actually and just turn around the mirror. And it'd
Well,
just take 2 seconds.
when I was in certain spots, I would bring clippers with me and do like you just said.
Yeah.
But I remember going on into New York one time, and I'm like dreading. Again, the hair touches my ear. I can't stand it, and I'm like, I got to get a haircut. I cannot go with this bush on my head. So then you start thinking in all these scenarios in your head, like, how are you going to explain to get a haircut the way you want it?
Yeah.
And if you don't normally go, it's kind of tricky, and I don't know. It is a personal thing, though, right?
You know, when
Someone jacks up your mug.
When I went to Rachel, she said something like, I can see where the lines in your hair are. And I was like, lines? What does that mean? She could see like the contour, the way the other person had cut it to lay for the next haircut. Because when your hair gets really long, you have to be able to shape it right. Otherwise, you're going to look like a fool. And as your hair grows, it starts to lay down. And I know it's educational for you guys, but you're never going to have to deal with it. It's just
Multiple
not-
burn.
Look, you guys.
Wow.
You're stacking them up, and I got to keep them.
I mean, you did mention you're getting older, and the hair might be next. So enjoy it while you can.
that's one. If that happens,
sorry,
you just put me
Crystal.
in the
He
front.
didn't. You weren't doing his layers correctly.
No, she was awesome.
The feathering wasn't
Yeah.
going.
I think we could move on. Now. I think it's the next person's turn. I've sucked up enough time. With
All right, I'll
what we
go
do.
here.
All right, you got to pick a name.
Pick a
Oh,
name.
let me put my name
you
back
have one?
in there.
Not yet. Not yet. I had one that I forget.
These two don't have one here.
We'll figure it out.
Pierce.
Adapt and
actually.
overcome.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Should I stand up?
Man, you better make
No.
this good.
Let's say you're
Turn around.
invited
Start it
to.
up,
Let's say you're invited to a friend's house for dinner, right? And your friend's like, "Hey, you should come over to dinner tonight. My wife makes this dish. It's amazing. It's really good." You go over there, you start eating it, and it's gross. And you don't want to finish this. It's really not that good.
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation? How do you handle that when you're just like,
This is a good one for Pierce.
I can't eat this.
I wish this.
Or maybe it's not to your dietary specifications and you didn't realize that going in.
Surprise, surprise. That's happened to me. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you handle this? You know,
You better
with-
eat that meatloaf. Put
If
it in
it's
your
a
mouth.
classy party, if it's a classy,
It's
kind
not a
of,
classy party. It's just your buddy and his wife. Come on over for dinner.
He's
Join
a
us. And
classy
it's
guy.
just you guys are around the dining room table having dinner together.
He wears tux and tails everywhere he goes.
if
They're trying to be a gracious host here.
tails. If it's not a real sophisticated thing going on, then when I throw my food out later, I'm the only one that's going to know. So that's what I've done before in those type of situations. But I've also been to those soirees where people are going to see that you haven't eaten.
How are you throwing your food out? Like without being noticed that this guy's not touching his food here?
Well, my
How do you
napkin just
You
kind
just
of
spit it in your napkin.
covertly falls over that section of the plate, and then nobody's really paying attention, especially if you try to
they're
keep
paying
the
attention.
conversation interesting.
Oh, you distract with
They're
conversation.
attention.
I'm using a lot of smoke screens, and I kind of just make a section of my plate that I don't tassel. Hopefully, I can find something on that.
Maybe
plate
there's a
that's edible.
dog around.
Well, I don't know. I haven't gone that route.
You haven't done the
No,
dog?
I haven't done. That'd be
Whoa.
embarrassing if you got caught doing that.
Doing the dog. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be
It's pretty
embarrassing,
bad.
man. I've actually done that before, where I just throw some.
Oh,
of the food.
that a boy. You know, I
The
give
dog,
it up.
the dog pukes it all up. Where'd you get all that from? Weird. You guys shouldn't feed your dog that stuff.
We never feed our dog veal. What are you doing? Yeah, that's what I've done. I just kind of threw out the.
I mean, would you ever ask the question, hey, what are you guys having for dinner? Before you
Sometimes
accept
I
the
go
offer?
like this,
you
I
know?
go,
Yeah.
what's this?
Yeah.
What's this
Yeah.
garbage?
What is this?
Definitely.
You said this was good?
Yeah. Do you guys call this
No.
food?
You got to eat at least half, in my opinion.
I try to eat a little bit.
I think that's acceptable.
But you know, when
even
it's
if
a-
I was inviting somebody over, if they ate half their food, okay.
Would you feel the need to make an excuse why you're not cleaning your plate? Like, oh,
No.
I'm
Oh, if they
stomach's
say
a little
something like,
upset.
"Oh, you're not, were you not hungry?" I had a big lunch at work.
Yeah.
You never just sacrificed and ate it.
no.
And then maybe
You know how I am.
I know how you
then
are. I
maybe
figured I'd ask.
purged afterwards.
No. Once it goes in your body.
I've been there plenty of times.
Yeah.
I can usually sacrifice and just
and just
chow it down, dude.
Dude, it's food.
yeah.
You're a
Well,
better
I
man
mean,
than
yeah.
me.
If I'm really hungry, I don't give a shit what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just
Scarf it.
chowing it.
Like I couldn't do squash. If she was making squash, I'd be like, can't do it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna.
If the problem I have, you know those Fear Factor shows and shows like that. where
Oh,
they
like
used
she's
to-
making cockroaches or something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
where
Cockroach
they
dinner.
where they put people in these scenarios where, okay, you've got to jump on a building. Okay, check. I'll give it a shot. You have to run with a lance at somebody. Okay. Now we need you to eat this, bucket of trash. I'm out. Like as
Yeah.
when it comes to putting something like that in my body, dude, I do not mess around, and I can't just. And that story, I still respect that story. Remember the one Eleven said where
Oh, the
for
foot, the
Christmas,
foot dough.
Yeah, when
right?
he was in Iraq
yeah.
and he ate the foot dough because people were making, and it was, it was the right thing. It was. I couldn't do it. We would have been in a longer Iraq if it was for me, because we would still be fighting because I wouldn't be able to hit it.
There would
I
have been
wouldn't-
an international incident.
Yeah, because I wouldn't eat the foot dough that people had used to make me.
That's it. Start the war up again.
Well, we got to fight longer because Pierce won't eat the dough. Thanks a lot, Pierce. Well, we already got Saddam. I know, but we have to keep fighting. Yeah, thanks a lot. So it's unfortunate.
all right.
You're the total
All right.
guy I could see. There was one show, I can't picture the show, where they're trying to make him eat something, and he's just like closing his eyes and shaking his head.
Fear
like,
factor?
No, I can't do it. No, I can't do it.
Yeah. I saw a 1-year-old react the way I do when he ate some grapefruit. That's how I eat food that I just can't even eat it, dude. I'll just
I'm gonna piggyback off your story with a true story of mine,
Okay.
and I'm asking you because you're the only one I can ask.
Okay.
Yep, beige.
That
is
would
the
be
only one
beige.
left.
So, what would you do if you're married, your wife, you don't have kids yet, and you have another close couple come over,
Oh no.
and she's cooking food, and we're doing like a roast or something,
Yeah.
and she uses sea salt for the first time and salts it like she would with regular salt, which made it
Wait.
atrocious.
Yeah.
It was awful. And served it all out. It's like smelling all good, and you take that bite, and it's
just
just
like,
salty, dude. And she's like almost in tears over there. Like, what would you do?
Has anybody? She's in tears because she's tasting it and knowing that but nobody said anything at this point.
Yes.
I'd be like, hey, anybody want a pizza or something?
Ouch.
No, I mean, I would be like, that's a tough one.
What if you go oh, sorry.
She knows at that point. So even if you lie, she knows you're lying. You can't be like, this is great.
Doesn't matter. You have your other friends there. You have
Yeah.
other people there. What are you going to do? You going to represent for your wife? Or?
I mean, I'm just not gonna acknowledge, and see how the friends. I'm just not gonna bring it up. And if they don't want to eat it, it's on them to come up with a good excuse why they're not eating it.
Damn.
And I would try my best to stomach it the best I could. But if I couldn't, I'd be like, I guess my eyes were bigger than my stomach. I guess I'm just not that hungry. You know, I wouldn't be like, yeah, this is gross, but like do it with some tact here. But yeah, as far as my friends go, I know what's going through their mind. They think it's gross. They don't know what to do.
And
They
now
don't
they're
know what to
looking at
say.
you with shame because you didn't
And that's what
speak
happened.
up.
I stone faced, just ate. I was just chowing.
You didn't even grimace.
And I was just looking.
You didn't
at,
even grimace.
I was just looking at my buddy. Yeah, it was so salty that there like a tear came out of my eye.
Salt.
Yeah.
And it had salt in it.
Yeah.
Tear of salt.
And I'm just looking at him, and he's chowing it too. And we were just looking at each other.
Like trying to see like
That's
who
funny.
would give up first.
Yeah, we were just like, we got to do it, man. We gotta,
So-
like he was just doing a solid as well.
Did she finish hers?
Hell no. we were doing that, just staring at each other, and it was just dead silence.
And nobody acknowledged.
And then his wife ended up taking a bite, going, "Oh!" And she like made this noise, and then then my wife started crying.
And ran out of the room.
No, she didn't run out, but she just was in, and she was like looking through, like, what else can I make? And that's when it all came out. But
Dang.
him and I sat there, just kept eating it. Like we were trying to like soften the
You guys
blow.
are
I guess
heroes,
I don't know.
man.
It was like a really
That's a
Honestly,
hero.
weird situation.
Honestly, at that point, it's like it's already done.
And I felt
Like-
so bad for
she's-
her, dude.
Right.
Well, you know what?
At that point, I would be at that point where everybody is. She's already aware, and somebody made an issue out of it. Then I honestly probably would be like, hey, do you guys want me to order a pizza?
You know what I would? Can I say what I would do if in that situation, especially if
Bacon's
my
going to say no.
wife started crying? Damn.
Damn. No,
All right,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
please. Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
say anyway. I guess. I would probably I'd point to it, and then I'd stand up and I'd hold my plate up high so everybody could say. And as my wife was crying, I'd be like, "This needs some more salt." Now I don't know. I would try to make her laugh, because when you said she started crying, though, I was like, man, that's tough.
It was rough.
Yeah,
it was a
that's
rough
tough
one.
But that's the second story where you're like a hero because you just ate it, man.
This roast tastes like the bottom of the Pacific Ocean.
And it did. It did, dude.
That's the worst when something's too salty.
It
man.
was.
Yeah.
It was so.
You're like,
bad.
like
so
just crunching the salt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my
man.
God.
Oh.
It was brutal. It
That happened
smelled
to-
so good.
Yeah.
That happened
And I
to
was
me
so
once.
hungry. And then my buddy was so hungry too. And we were
Yeah.
just like, screw it, man. We're just looking at each other, just
Yeah.
seeing. And I think he did
Seeing
more
who
than me. He
Yeah.
ended up winning that whole stare down.
It's funny that you guys were just looking at each other as you
yeah.
were eating.
As soon as I took a bite, I just looked at him and I was like,
Then
because we were the first ones to eat it. And I was like,
he had his
so good.
he had his sodium intake
Yeah.
for
And then
the
he
year.
was going to. I was like,
Wow.
There's your
Man, I'm gonna
sodium
have-
intake for the year.
I had
for
like
that one meal.
heartburn afterwards.
Red, have you had some time in all of this shenanigans?
Absolutely. I thought about it.
I was
And
gonna waste some more time. if you
this
didn't.
is for 11, process of elimination, and then everybody else can answer. Super simple, honestly. But I was approached with this scenario, and I'm kind of like, damn, right in my head, ding, ding, ding. What would you do? School field trip for my kid, or elementary school. It's Disneyland, so they get to a certain grade, they get to go to Disneyland. So some of them, it's like a big deal, right? They're like, okay, cool.
Only some?
What?
Only some of them, it's a big deal.
Well, because some kids haven't been. You know what I mean? Like if you haven't been to
I think
Disneyland,
all of them, it'd be a big deal. I'm just
some of them have been like some of these kids go every year. So the field trip is like, oh, okay, I'm going to Disneyland. In any event, they're like, hey, cool, your kid's going to go to Disneyland. And we're like, my wife and I are like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll send our kid. Well, they need chaperones because they're short on chaperones. And then it kind of goes the conversation of, well, if you have a kid in the class, you have to be the same gender as your kid.
yes, I know. I've gone through this.
And then it goes to the conversation of, well, when you are a chaperone, and I'm thinking, okay, I guess I could do that. I'll sack it up for my kid, and I'll pull the trigger on that one.
Son or a daughter?
A son.
Okay.
And then you get asked, okay, you could be a chaperone, but you get to room with your kid, but there'll be two other kids in the room.
Negative.
And the same gender, but you're talking to like, I'm picturing in my head, 2-queen bedroom at Disneyland, you and your kid, one bed, you got two other kids you may or may not have ever even met in another bed, and you're in the room for like 2-3 days.
No.
This is why
I
you
don't put myself in situations like that. I know anyone can say anything. Maybe this is just from being on the job for so long. and you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't put myself in those situations.
Right.
No
Okay.
way.
I'm not going to say anything yet. I know. So
I would get my own hotel room somewhere.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm not going to say nothing yet. I want to see you. Let's go. What are you doing, Pierce?
This was a volunteer thing. I mean, or were you?
Yeah,
like,
but
is there
the-
some kind of volunteer?
It's a
mandatory?
volunteer, but like their lack of people that could go, lack of chaperones that could go.
Yeah, and you said it's all boys or just
Not all boys, but if you have a son,
Yeah. So I was going
If
to
you
go
have a son, then the dad has to be a chaperone.
with
Correct.
my ex's daughter. And I used to go to all her field trip things, and the Disneyland one, they said I wouldn't be able to be. I'd have to go stay with the boys or something, and I was like, oh hell no.
Right.
And that's the whole reason I didn't go.
yeah.
If I would have been able to go and stick with her and all that, then I would have went. To make sure
Yeah.
she was safe and had a good time and all, and
I
all that
see.
stuff.
I'm like 11. I see way too many things that I just don't like about all that.
I can't believe the school would actually do that.
Take parent,
like
yeah.
put people in that position. Like that's on the school. Like what are you doing? Like how are you first of all, how are you vetting these parents? Like that you're a decent guy, right? You know that. You don't know who this guy
Yeah, I wanna see
is. You
some
don't know who
criminal
that guy
history
is.
checks,
You know, you don't know all these other
That's
people.
true.
What if these,
Yeah.
like for the school to do that, that's really odd. And I would think minimum what they should be doing is 2 adults in that room.
Yes.
Maybe you'd feel better if there was another adult in that room with you so that it couldn't be somebody makes up a story and says something and now you're just defending, but now you have another adult that says, yeah, this is now, So maybe that still is not a perfect situation, but maybe that helps alleviate a little bit of the concern if there's another adult in the room. But if that's not the case, I just wouldn't do it. And that's on you if you don't have enough chaperones because you didn't do it.
I'm only
You put people in
laughing
that
because you
position.
guys answered the same exact way that I did. Because maybe it's because of what we do for a living.
Yes.
You're like, this scenario can happen. This scenario can happen. This scenario
Yes.
can happen.
Yeah.
No. It's a no. It's a no.
And then you
my
talk
kid
to-
now is not going either.
And then you talk to your wife, and your wife's like, "What are you worried about? Give me a break. You're being
Well,
dumb."
There's
You know?
other
And it's
parents
like,
that have the same thing. Like, wait a second, you're going to send your kids with other parents they may not even know because there's
adults
parents.
should not be staying in the kids' room, unless
Right.
it's just with their own kid.
And I think
That's
they have eventually
insane.
changed
Yep.
it because there was parents that were like, wait, I'm going to have to, if I can't go, I've got to, or my kid's a different gender than I am, single parent.
Yeah. That's the whole reason I didn't go with my ex's daughter because they wouldn't allow me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go be around all these other kids that I don't know or have to stay in a room with
Dude,
them. Like it's just none of that.
I've
is okay.
even been the way like I before I'd go on a date night with my wife, right? And we'd have a girl come over. She was like 16, and she'd watch the babies. We'd go out and she'd watch our little kids. So sometimes we get home 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and then if my wife's been drinking or something, then I have to drive her home. I'm not driving her home by myself.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
tell my daughters, I say, hey, you're coming with me and you're sitting in the front seat. Just because you want to avoid any possible thing.
I wonder if
you
that's
know?
just a
Yeah, I
job.
think-
I wonder
I
if it's
think
just a
so.
job thing.
I think so.
I wonder if it is.
I
wonder if that's
I think
just
it
been
is sometimes
trained
because
or
you just start you thinking
experienced.
about all the because
Liabilities.
right. If somebody says something, now it's on you to defend
you're
yourself.
guilty until
yeah,
you
you're
prove-
guilty.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially in a situation like that. So it's okay. I'll tell my wife. I
Unless
said,
you have,
you know,
like,
I'll
a
take her
dash
home,
cam.
but I'm taking her home. I'll take her home. She'll sit in the back seat, and our 15-year-old or 13-year-old, or if another one of the girls is home, she's sitting in the front seat.
You know, when you watch Mission Impossible and you see all the things that they try to make believable, not real life, because people that are doing jobs that put them at risk are doing those jobs well because they mitigate risk. They learn and they know how to be careful. And so when you're putting yourself out there, and maybe as we talk about, we don't go into the details, but we have experiences, and those experiences have taught us that you mitigate risk. And that's what we're talking about. You're just avoiding putting yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in. Yeah, I mean, it looks cool to watch somebody jump off of a bike that's going off the edge of a cliff, but that's not the way to avoid the risk. You know?
Well,
There's
and
other
I had the
ways.
most random situation happen to me one time. I was home and I was watching, I think, my younger kids at the time. My older kids went to school. I get a knock on the door. I don't know who it was. I open the door. It's like a younger girl. I think it's one of my daughter's friends. I open the door. It's this younger girl, and I don't know her. And she's like, can I come in and use their bathroom? Seriously.
What?
Can I come in and use your bathroom? And on the one hand, you're looking at this kid and you're like, if she came up to my door and is begging to use the bathroom, it must be like an emergency. So that's like the good-hearted version of what you're thinking. Yeah. The bad-hearted version is she's coming in and casing the place, or she's going to try to steal something, or she's going to do drugs in my bathroom, or, I have her in here. All I have is my little babies in here. She could come in here and say whatever the hell she wants to say happened. And now I have to. So I just told her, I said, sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. And I just told her, and then she just walked off. Because I'm like, I'm not going to. And it makes you feel bad because you want to be a good person.
Just record with your cell phone the whole time.
Recorder
The
using
second she walks in and then to the bathroom.
No.
Stay in the bathroom.
No.
And you're like
Just
recording.
so everything's recorded.
Yeah, I'm not even doing that. And so you just get to the point where
Don't record her in the bathroom.
No, that's bad.
sicko.
That's bad.
No, but despite what because there's a part of you want to be a good person, and hey, she needs to use the bathroom. It's an emergency here.
That's
so part of you wants to help her out, but then you're thinking all this other crap this liability and everything, and you're just like, nope, don't want it. See you later. Sorry.
It's this day and age.
No,
Yeah.
because unfortunately, all that scenarios go right through your head as
Exactly.
It's this day and age, and that stuff has happened.
Well, I'm like,
we've seen it happen.
who would even do that? I hope my daughter wouldn't do that.
Right.
That scares me. Like, don't go up to some stranger's house and has to use a bathroom. You don't know who the hell these people are.
You better see some evidence of her like being like dancing or moving in an uncomfortable manner.
I mean, she did seem like.
Oh, really?
She was kind of like,
well,
can I use the...
But on the flip side, you think as a parent, like, what if my poor little kid was like riding his bike and he had to go number 2 Code Brown, and he saw a friendly looking face or something that was like, oh, this guy will let me use his bathroom. I can't get to my house fast enough. And now little Johnny's took a deuce in his shorts in front of your front yard because you wouldn't let him use a bathroom.
I would.
Life
That's a
lesson,
better
Johnny.
option.
Life lesson, Johnny.
That's a better option than being,
Such an asshole.
and
you shit your pants. No.
and I think...
Life lesson. Now you'll learn to prepare yourself better.
But this is crazy, right? Because you take this situation and let's go back 50 years. Say it's the 1950s or 60s. I guarantee you most people are letting that kid in to use their bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, no. Most people are not letting that kid in.
I wouldn't even
to use
answer
their
the door,
bathroom.
probably.
I
Most
would
people
let them.
Well, I just thought it was one of my daughter's friends.
No,
that's
yeah,
why
that's
I
what I'm
answered
saying.
the door, But
I would
was
let
like,
them
okay.
use the restroom on my lawn or behind a bush if it was really.
You
like
would
it
let-
really looked.
So that's okay. We can do that.
I mean, I don't know. You know what? In work one time, I may have to cut this out. I did have to go so bad that I just went out in the open in a location that was barely hidden, and it was 4:00. And
We're talking
everybody was
about
coming
one or
home.
two.
Number 1, luckily.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
that's not
that's
that bad.
I
But
do
it
that
was,
all the time.
it was
Yeah.
just in the open.
Number 2. It's like, we're going to have to talk a little bit more about
I guess if it was
Number one, I've opened the door and just Powerade bottles.
Well, honestly, Pierce, number 1, you should be a little bit more prepared for that, buddy.
Well, I
You
didn't
should-
have anything with me at that time.
No,
It was
okay.
it was an impromptu thing we had to roll out real quick. But
Yeah.
I always had empty Powerade bottles in the work car.
one time I had one that was full, and some guests got in the back seat. Luckily, they were all work people, but still.
Oh, they just thought it was like
they
a...
knew exactly what it was. When
No, they
got
just
in
thought
there.
it was a lemon lime.
Gatorade.
Gatorade lemon lime.
Oh, can I take a swig?
Man, you're hydrated. Good for you.
Yeah. Clear.
Well, I think we have really
Not mine.
done a service.
Mine looks like it has rusty pennies in it.
Oh,
I want to get that looked
And
at.
it smells like it, too.
But do you have your depth perception?
oh,
I do.
Yeah,
I do
there you
not.
go. That's all you need, man.
100%.
Well, thanks for tuning in and listening to us again, folks. I think we all need to get to bed. It's late. Hopefully, we didn't put you to bed while you were listening to this or to sleep. Anyway, thanks a lot. But this is Pierce signing off.
Beige.
Red.
11.
Adios. Take care.
That means bye.
Heroes of Humility will be back in 2 weeks. If you want, it would be courtesy. It would be the right thing to do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We have a website, and follow us. Give us a rating if you want. Thanks for your support. Take care.